Any big lottery ticket buyer fans here? The lottery has been crazy the last couple months, yes? Right? Powerball, like the highest it's ever been. Now the Mega Millions, right? So the Mega Millions, how much should you be able to win with the Mega Millions? Now you get to win $1 billion, right? It's crazy, exciting, yes? I see the momentum on your face, right? So you think about this for a moment, like, so they announce like the Mega Millions jackpot is as high as ever. Last week it was 800 million. This week it's $1 billion. Like, how do they know it's going to be another 200 million? How do they know that? Because they know that when they announce that, what are all of you going to go and do? You're going to run and buy a ticket. My dad, right, Kathy? He won when that big threshold. Why? Because you want to win the big treasure. Yes or yes? So when you see that high amount, what do? You jump in your car like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I got to get my lottery ticket. Yes or yes? With energy, with compunction, with determination. Why? Because if you don't buy the ticket, what happens? And you're not going to win anyhow. But when they hit no, they haven't. That's why it keeps going up, right? And you keep buying, exactly. They count on you, Mary. They count on you, right? And think about this. Like, we're chasing the treasure. We're chasing the big win. Yes or yes? So they know when they put that higher threshold up, people like Mary, people like my dad, you just, oh my gosh, I got to get my ticket. Yes or yes? And it's a really good question for us to ponder. What are we chasing? Think about that. When you hear like the lottery so high, there are people like Mary, maybe not you, but maybe like Mary, right? We're just driven, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure we get the ticket to win, yes? And what are we chasing? And the gospel today reminds us powerfully what we should be chasing, which is the true treasure, which is the life of heaven. And if you think about it for a moment, and again, all kidding aside, and again, my dad is the best example. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get that ticket, all right? With intentionality. And it really causes us to reflect on what are we chasing in our lives. And the gospel reminds us powerfully where we will find real treasure and a fullness of life, which is heaven. So in the gospel, just like Mary, jumping in her car to go get the lottery ticket, even more, they did radical things there as well, because they were chasing the promise of heaven, the kingdom of God. What are you chasing? Go to the first reading today from Solomon. Solomon could have asked God for anything. And what did he want? An understanding heart. Why? Because with an understanding heart, what Solomon knew was the old African proverb that wisdom is wealth. Wisdom is wealth. Wisdom is wealth. When you and I pursue the wisdom of God, Lord, I love your commands. When we pursue, chase after the wisdom of God and strive to live that wisdom in our lives, then we find the blessings of God literally now and forever. But what are you chasing? What's your treasure that you're pursuing? And the gospel today reminds us that the real treasure, the fullness of life, is life with God in heaven. Wisdom is wealth, and actions speak louder than words. Stephen Covey, a long time ago, said, where you spend your time and where you spend your money says what's important to you. Now, we'll all say, no, that's not true. But actions speak louder than what are you pursuing in your life? What are you chasing after? And the gospel powerfully reminds us today that our pursuit should be heaven. What we should be chasing, if you will, is the wisdom of God. As you walk into the week, Look at your actions this week. Where you spend your time, where you spend your money. And just use it as a super decoder ring, if you will, to let it remind you, illuminate your mind and heart to really, what are you pursuing? What are you pursuing? Is it noble? Is it worthy of God? Is it God's kingdom? Secondly, African proverb, wisdom is wealth. Wisdom is wealth. Let it just remind you to pursue the wisdom of God. And thirdly, pray that you and I, like Solomon, can ask God every day for simply an understanding heart. Imagine if we walked into any conversation, any meeting, any situation, and before we walked in, we said, God, give me an understanding heart. Then we would engage that conversation in a much different way, with the wisdom, with the grace, with the care, with the compassion of the Lord. All kidding aside, when they say it's 8 million and it jumps to $1 billion, what do we all do? What do you do, Mary? You jump in your car and you run to get that ticket, right? What are you pursuing? Wisdom is wealth. And how can we follow the example of Solomon and seek the wisdom of an understanding heart from the Lord?